we're here. Let's get everybody up. We have a special guest in a minute. Welcome to the Dirt Report. I'm the Cornbread Man.
Biscuit Boy.
We got Biscuit Boy, Chaser, and Marine is in the corner with the protection.
Surety.
We have a special guest. We want to welcome you. Sorry for last night. We had internet trouble with all the storms and everything that came through the area. It's just that time of year. But we're glad to be here. Paul's going to kick us off with a scripture, and then we're going to pull up our guest, and we're going to talk NASCAR experience.
Tonight we are reading from Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 through 27. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you for that, Paul.
Thank you.
And again, we have a special guest, and we're so excited to have Brother Bob Lutz here from the NASCAR experience. We're pulling him up right now.
There he is.
As he is rolling along down the highways and byways.
In his cyber truck.
Yeah, it's the first time. It's the first for our podcast to have this vantage point. So this is cool. That's a first. So we get to be a part of that. Welcome to the show. We're here to tell your story, and we're excited about it. So tell us a little bit about what you were involved with, and we know plenty of people that have done this, and we'll kind of start from there. So who you are and what you're with, and then we'll kind of dive in.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on the show. My name is Bob Lutz, and I'm the CEO of NASCAR Racing Experience. And when I was growing up, I grew up in upstate New York, and my father was ran the Dirt Series, so I grew up around racing. Was always been around race cars, and short track, dirt track racing was all that I knew until I moved down to Charlotte back in 1989. I had a friend that came down to Charlotte, and I came down to visit him, and I never left. Fell in love with Charlotte. Never knew that there was really anything else outside of upstate New York, that area that for racing, and realized that Charlotte was the home of NASCAR. NASCAR back then was much smaller than it is today, but fortunately I got in at the right time as went through its growth spurt in 1990. I got into the driving experience business, had this idea that race fans in corporate America would love the opportunity to get behind the wheel of an actual cup car and driving it on an actual speedway. So I went to Richard Petty with this concept of putting people in race cars, and he looked at me and he thought I was crazy. He says, "You think people would really want to do that?" I said, "I think so." And so I said, I want to use your name and likeness, and I want to start the Richard Petty driving experience. And he says, "Let's try it." So, that was 36 years ago, and still going strong. And everything's been, it's been a great career. It's been something that has been great for the fans, putting them being able to get behind the wheel of a race car, driving it around a racetrack, that holding onto the same steering wheel that some of their favorite drivers have driven in the past. We get all of our cars from race teams that are cars that have been driven in competition by their favorite drivers, and on the actual real racetracks that they get to see on TV every weekend. And it's been a very fulfilling experience for me. When you hear people that have been through the experience either send you emails, write you letters, call in and say, "Thank you for giving me that opportunity. Never thought we'd be able to do something like this." And it's been great. It's hearing from customers that have been through the experience and how it's something that they remember and talk about the rest of their lives.
This is amazing.
That is awesome.
I have talked to so many people, and now we go full circle in actually meeting the person that did this. And everything that you said, I have heard this from people who have bought it as gifts for someone as a Christmas or birthday present, or someone they just wanted to, as a group, maybe a work group that went out and said, "Hey, let's go to this track." and let's do this. I know disabled people that have been able to get down the car. They're driven themselves, or they're driven around the track because you offer that as well as the other experience there. And then they come back just, as the excitement, talking about how great that is. One of the things, and I'll say just real quick, and I'm sure the guys have got tons of questions, is we looked at the website. We didn't realize that as many tracks are represented as they are. I thought it was only 3 to 5, to be honest. I didn't realize you had more than that. That's amazing.
We operate at 18 racetracks around the country. So pretty much every NASCAR oval we operate at, except for Indy, Martinsville, Pocono, and Bristol. Most every other racetrack we do operate at experience. So no matter where you live, no matter what part of the country you're in, there's a racetrack near you where we offer this experience. Daytona is our flagship. We run the most dates there, and it is one of the highest demand speedways because it is Daytona. And but whether it's Talladega or whether it's Texas or Vegas or Charlotte, Atlanta, it's Homestead, you get to run on these tracks that you get to see you get to watch your favorite drivers competing on week after week. And even if you're not a NASCAR fan, so many of our customers are thrill seekers, people that are just automotive enthusiasts, or as I say, thrill seekers that just want adrenaline junkies that want to do something that's new and different that they've never done before, and get behind the wheel of an actual race car on a racetrack and driving it at 120, 30, 40, 50, 60 mile an hour around a racetrack is an amazing experience. And when I talk to people and people say, well, 130, 140, 150 mile an hour, I've got a Porsche, or I have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and I've done that, going down the highway. It's like, well, you may have done that going in a straight line down the highway, but you ever done that getting off an off ramp? These are 1.5 mile ovals. You have a quarter mile straightaway, half a mile of it is a turn. So it's a completely different experience than what people think it's like. And the people that come out and question, how fast can I go? And why can't I go faster? Those are the people that usually end up running, some of the slower speeds. It's if you come in, you pay attention, you listen to the instruction, and you follow the instruction the way that we tell you. Some of our fastest customers in our groups are females.
Awesome.
And I don't say that to say it in a negative way about females. I say it in a positive way, because most of them are nervous. They're scared when they come in there. So they listen, they pay attention to the instruction. They listen to everything that the instructors tell them to do in the way that they're told to do it, because it's not as simple as people think. You don't just get behind the wheel, stand on the gas, turn the wheel, and it goes around the racetrack. There's a lot more to it. And when you watch the video, you pay attention to it, and you do it exactly the way that we explained you that it's properly done, you're going to be one of the fastest people in the group. And the ones that come in there that think they know it all, that think it's so easy, they realize it's not easy. And they're the ones that walk away going 120, 130 mile an hour. And and this gentleman's wife is in the class with him. She gets her time sheet, and she ran 145 or 150 mile an hour. And he's like, how did that happen? And it's because she paid attention. She did as we asked her to do. And she was one of the fastest of the group. It happens all the time. It's amazing.
Tell the guys that the cars are weight sensitive. She weighs less.
Not quite, but it's
there's an old Coach episode, the TV show Coach, where he goes one of those experiences. It's not NASCAR, I think Indy, but it's what you just described. He went in. I'm this strong guy. I'm a coach. I'm adrenaline junkie, but he doesn't pay attention, and he's doing horrible through the first part of it, and his pride is taking a hit until he really did listen and start listening to instruction and why can I do this. So I think that's very important. And what I like about it is you've made it, there are so many levels to it as we were looking at it. You have so many levels where if somebody just wants to go out and do 3 laps around the track and say, I've done it, or they want that full-on experience and everything in between there, you've got something for everybody. That's amazing. I did not know there was that many options, to be honest.
Yeah, and what we tell people is the more seat time you get, the faster you're going to go. The more laps you do, the more comfortable you're going to feel in the car, the faster you're going to go. When you go out there, your first session, people are so focused on, they have a death grip on the wheel. We tell them, relax, don't hold the steering wheel so tight, relax, focus on your driving line, and the speed will come. And as people get out there, typically if they run, we break things up into 8-minute sessions for the customers. You run your first 8-minute session, you come in, the instructor's been talking to you, giving you pointers, telling you what you're doing wrong, what you need to do to correct it. You sit on pit road while the next person goes out, you stay in the car, then you go out for your second session. When you go out there for your second session, you're much more comfortable, you're more aware of your surroundings, and you're a little more confident that the car is going to stick if you drive it harder into the turn. We tell people, do not let off the gas pedal when you go into the corners. Yep. Customers, though, it's just natural for them to let off the gas, and we tell them, don't let off the gas. These cars are designed to go 200 plus mile an hour around this racetrack. When you're going into that corner at 120, 130, 140, 150 mile an hour, it's going to stick. There's nothing that you're going to do other than drive it into the wall that's going to get it out of shape. It's not going to come around on you because these cars are built to run speeds of 200 plus mile an hour. So you've got a big safety margin built into it. And unless you drop the left side tires down on the apron, which is going to turn the car to the right and going to shoot you straight up to the wall, or literally drive into the wall, you're not going to spin one of these cars. So we tell customers, trust the car, drive it into the corners. And, the second session, people start trusting it more. They drive it deeper into the corners. They run faster speeds. The third session out there, we change the rev limiter. The cars have rev limiters on them, and we change it from 5,000 RPMs to 5,400 RPMs. Get some more speed. So their third session, they get to run higher speeds. They may run up into the high 150s, low 160s. So it's a progression. If you run 4 sessions, you're going to get more comfortable and run higher speeds. Your 5th session, we're going to give you even more chip. We're going to take you now up to 5,600 RPMs. And then if you run 6 sessions, we're going to take you up to 5,800 RPMs. You get up to 5,800 RPMs, you're going to, if you do everything correctly, you could be running speeds of low 170 mile an hour. Wow. So that's fast. And people don't realize how fast that really is. And very few people ever achieve those speeds because it takes so much focus, so much concentration, so much of your strength, mentally and physically. People get out of these cars and they have a new appreciation for race car drivers. They are true athletes. And you don't realize it until you get behind the wheel of a car and you run 8, 16, 24, 32, minute sessions out there in these race cars. It is mentally and physically exhausting.
Amazing. I was curious, 2 things that popped in my mind. I know for teams, you're not running constantly, 500 miles. How often do your tires last? How often do you have to change those to another tire with what you're doing versus, a NASCAR team that's running the circuit or a full race?
Yeah, depending on the racetrack and which tires that we have on the cars, because we do get our tires from Goodyear, who's a great supporter of our experience, and we appreciate all the years that we've been working with them. At different times, there's different compounds that are on the cars, so depending on the track that we run and which compounds are on there, we'll get anywhere from 60 to 80 laps out of a tire. But we do constantly monitor the tires and the tire wear. And, you'll see occasionally we'll roll a car back into the pit stall, change tires on a car. You may be one of the lucky customers that, are in the car at the time when we roll it back, so you get the experience of what it's like to do a pit stop of a tire change, and we roll you back up in line again and send you back out on the racetrack. So it's we do have a tire person that's constantly monitoring every single car, every tire on each car, every time it goes in and out of off a pit road.
Amazing.
So Robert, let me ask you a question. Do you, in any of these experiences, do you get the opportunity to race other cars? I mean, literally on the track, or is this just a one at a time by speed only?
No, you're actually out on the racetrack with other cars. Typically, there's 4 cars on the track at a time. Okay. Plus, you have the ride cars. So there could actually be 6 cars or 7 cars at a time out there on the racetrack, depending on how many ride cars that we're running at that time. If you come up on a slower car, we do allow passing. So,
awesome.
The car that's running slower, their instructor will radio to them because it will spook you if you're not ready for it. If a car comes up alongside you and zooms by you going 10, 20, 30 mile an hour faster than you are, you'll be, it scares people. So, the instructor will let the slower car know, stay low coming off the turn. There's a car that's going to pass you on the outside. So that way they're prepared. We let the person that's overtaking the slower car know passing is only on the straightaways. So you're only pass to the high side. So we're going to let them know the car is going to drop to the low side. We want you to pass on the high side, maintain your lane, and carry your speed going into the corner, and clear the car before you get to the corner.
So awesome. In effect, you have your own spotter. You have someone that's guiding you around if they see something, letting you know.
Absolutely. Every single car that's on the racetrack has its own spotter that's communicating with them the entire time. So if you have questions and you're confused about something or you forget something, just key the mic, ask your spotter the question, and they'll give you the answer. And they'll give you guidance as you're going along, let you know if you're doing something wrong, what you need to do it to do it correctly. This is the closest thing to actually running an actual NASCAR race itself. We try to make it as a realistic experience as possible, giving the customers every bit of what a driver actually goes through when they're out there on a racetrack, with other cars, with the spotter, coming in the pits, everything that there is to know.
How much gas has these cars burned?
We get about 2.5 to 3.5 miles per gallon. So they go through quite a bit. On an average day, we'll have to refuel the cars 2-3 times, maybe 4 times, depending on how many customers we have that day.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, those cars are thirsty.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely. We'll let Dusty's coming in. We'll let him get his camera straight. He's still getting that straight. When we can see there, Dusty, we'll bring you up.
This is exciting.
Another thing is when you mentioned the Richard Petty and his the first time you met with him, did you have a sense before you ever met with him that maybe this was a go, or was you a little concerned about it, or how did that work when you had this idea and you presented that? What was that like? I mean, the King, and you're saying we're going to give the fans, because they're great with fans. I'm just curious about that. You don't have to go into great detail, but what was that like for you to go present this idea to him?
Well, at first, I was 20 years old at the time. So, I wish that, today I was, back then as a 20-year-old, I didn't know what no meant. I was as cocky and arrogant and confident in myself as anyone ever could be, which is why I'm really glad that I was that way then. As you get older and you mature, your attitude changes, you look at things differently. But when I was I just thought, hey, I'm going to go in there. I've got this great idea. I'm going to go to Richard Petty. I'm going to go right straight to the top. I'm going to pick the most famous, most well-known race car driver in NASCAR history, and I'm going to present him this idea. I've got this 5-year business plan. I'm going to show it to him, and and there's no way he can say no to me. And
you're right.
You're right. Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
he liked what he saw, but if I wasn't that way, it would have never happened. If I was timid and shy and wasn't confident with what I was presenting, and I tell that, people ask me all the time about, what does it take to be successful in business? I say, well, it's a number of things. One thing is you have to have a good idea. Number 2, you got to believe in that idea. Number 3, you have to work hard at it, and you got to be the best that you could possibly be. Next thing is, I tell people it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're responsible for keeping the bathrooms clean, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're an accountant, no matter what it is, you have to do the best of no matter what you're doing, you have to do it right. And whether it's, I'm at home, whether I'm cleaning the floors, whether I'm cleaning my vehicle, whether I'm negotiating contracts, put 100% into everything that you do. Get used to doing that. My father instilled in me when I was young, whatever you're doing, do it the best you possibly can. And, he was the biggest a-hole. He hated me. This was, the way he was so stern on me growing up. I'm thinking, I got to get away from him. That's why I moved to Charlotte. I wanted to be in racing, but I didn't want to be around. I thought I can't work for my dad. He's too difficult. Yeah. And I realized later on, after I owned my own business and I struggled and I put in 7 days a week, 16, 18, 20 hours a day to make the business work, to make it successful. I went back to him later on, years later, and I said, thank you for being the way you were. Thank you for raising me the way that you did, because I would never be able to do what I'm doing right now. And I'd never be in the position that I am or successful as I am if it wasn't for you being so tough on me growing up. And, growing up, I took it personally, but, but now I realize you did it for me for my own good. Right. And, that's when I'm talking to these kids that are younger or people that are in their, whether it's teenagers or early 20s, that's what I try to explain to them is you have to work hard. You have to put in the time, that effort. And no matter what you're doing, you may not be where you want to be at the time, but if you put in the effort and your boss sees that and sees the potential in you, you're going to advance. You're going to get more responsibility. You're going to get more pay. You're going to achieve more things in life and in your career. But no matter what you do it 100% and all the time. Don't let up. Don't ever don't ever slack off, because when you do, that those are the people that that stay in that rut, and they never get where they want to be, because people recognize people who are hard workers, people who are loyal, people that are dedicated, people who who are going to put the effort in. Those are the ones that that stand out and get recognized and advance in their careers.
That may be one of the greatest clips I've ever heard right there, because it's absolute truth. And people sometimes today, they're looking for the easy route. It's work. If you're passionate about what you have, you're willing to work, because it's not work. You want it. Yeah, it gets tiring, but you want this to work. You believe in it so much. And people their BS detector's pretty high. They know if you don't believe in your product. They know if you're not willing to work hard, they detect that pretty quickly. And we're going to make sure people hear that. That was a great.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, that was like business 101 or success in life 101. I mean, do these things and they work. Show up every day, work hard, believe in it, If you get knocked down, stand back up and keep moving, because it doesn't come easy. There's a lot of work to it. And we do change our opinions as we age about our parents. And, well, maybe they weren't that bad. I give you some good tools, some great ideas to get moving forward. Does the experience run all year long, or is it limited in some areas because of weather, or how does that work?
Yes, the experience is offered year round, but it's some locations are seasonal locations. So, if you go to NASCARRacingExperience.com to the website, we have a full schedule on there for each of the tracks that we offer the experience at, and what days and times that it's offered. Some of the tracks that we operate at are open year round. Some of them we just go there 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6 times a year. So depending on the speedway, and the demand that we have for that speedway, and the availability of us to get on track there, people don't realize what goes on at racetracks. These racetracks around the country, no matter which track it is, are used every single day of the week. Something is going on, no matter which track it is, pretty much every day of the week, whether it's a commercial shoot, whether it's a manufacturer that has the facility that blocked off for dealer programs where they're introducing new vehicles, or whether it's local car clubs or concerts, festivals, auto fairs. There's something going on at every one of these racetracks. So it's really difficult to get track time at these tracks. When people ask us, why don't you run more at this track or that track? It's because it's not available. There's something going on at every one of these racetracks every day, no matter which track it is around the country. So we have a set schedule for basically a year out. And you look at again, NASCARRacingExperience.com website, and it'll show you when we're at the track that you're interested in going to. And those are the days that we offer the experience.
Awesome.
That is awesome. I would imagine, I'm just guessing, correct me if I'm wrong, your word of mouth for business has got to be very strong. People go back and tell others, hey, you have got to do this. This is like awesome. I mean, because I would think the product sells itself really for the experience they get. They're going to go tell others. Not that you don't market, but I would think word of mouth is big in this among race fans.
We do monitor where our business is coming from. We do spend a lot of money on social media marketing. But the number one thing that where customers come from is word of mouth, and that's what they tell us is that's the number one source of additional customers. And then it's whether they saw us, they did a Google search, or whether they saw us on Instagram, one of our ads on Facebook, or one of the other social media sites, that, and then also from racetracks, if they're looking at specific racetrack, and, we have links that go directly to our website from different racetracks, from their websites. So, but the number one source is a customer goes through the experience, has a great experience, and tells their family and friends about it. And, it does, you mentioned early on about people that have gone through the experience that have gotten it as a gift, whether it's an anniversary, a graduation gift, Christmas present, Mother's Day, Father's Day. It makes a perfect gift, because it's something that, you can give your dad a watch, you can give him a tie, you can give him a pair of socks, no matter what, and he'll wear them, he'll use them. Chance he might remember when he puts it on where he got it from. Give him a driving experience. It's something he's going to talk about for the rest of his life. Every time that he sees a race car going around a racetrack, on whether it's on television or just the subject comes up, he's going to talk about it, or she's going to talk about it. It's something that, whether you get behind the wheel and drive, or whether you ride as a passenger with one of our instructors on our ride along program, it's something that people are going to talk about the rest of their lives, about when they went around that racetrack in that race car and did the driving experience. It really is amazing that it's a great gift that people remember and talk about, forever.
I went to a wild game dinner, and that was one of the gifts, was the driving experience.
Oh yeah,
it was one of the gifts. So a lot of nonprofits, they'll buy these things, and give them away. And everybody that I've ever talked to that has went loved it. I've never heard anyone say anything disparaging at all, ever.
Awesome.
Me and Ken.
We try super hard to make sure that every customer leaves with a smile on their face. That is, our number one priority is safety, making sure that every customer that goes through the experience has a safe experience.
Right.
We got to make sure that once they get out there, they get in that race car, that they get all of the training that they need to be safe on the racetrack. But the second thing that we instill in every one of our employees is customer satisfaction, making sure that customer leaves with a smile on their face, making sure that they get out there on the track, they have a great experience on the track, they get off the track safely, get back onto pit road, and when they get out of that race car, making sure that they have a smile on their face, and every one of our employees. From when you get greeted when you walk in to when they thank you when you leave. We try to make sure that every customer has a great experience, and I think that we've done a great job along the way doing that. But we're always constantly looking at how we could always make things better and improve things and make it a better experience. So, we've evolved as time has gone on from when we started the program to what we have today. And, we started out as a lead follow program. We had an instructor in a lead car. We had 2 students following. Then we went down to 1 student following. Then we went to instructor in the passenger seat to where we are today with an instructor up in the spotter stand with radio communication. So, there's been a lot of evolution to the program over the years. And I think we've constantly made it better and better and a closer experience to what it's really like being out there in a race car on a racetrack, and competing in a race, so the customers get to feel what those drivers feel like every weekend.
Has insurance given you any issues over the years?
It's never given us any issues. The only pain that I ever feel is when I'm signing those checks for that policy. That's the only, the heartburn that it gives me. But fortunately, we've run a great safe experience. We have a great history, great track record with the insurance company. We run a very safe program, and we work with we worked with a few of the different insurance companies over the years. K&K has been a great supporter of us, and we love working with them. That's our current insurance company right now, and they insure a lot of the racetracks, a lot of the race teams, and also our experience. And we've had a great relationship, great history with them, and their motorsports person. Hello, Craig, and thank you for all that you do for us. And he has a great understanding of the business. He grew up in the business and understands it well. And it's something that we always see eye to eye with each other. He knows that I run they know, and the insurance company knows, we do nothing. We are not going to do anything that's unsafe, anything that's going to put a customer at risk. So, fortunately they have trust in me, and I know that, I'm never going to do anything that's going to put a customer, at risk. So and I make sure that every one of my employees understands that's our number one priority, and never do anything that's going to put a customer at risk, because that is immediate termination if you do something like that.
Sure.
So this might sound like a silly question, but do you have sponsors?
We do. We are able to do something that most people can't, and that's whether it's we put hundreds of thousands of miles on our race cars
Right.
a year. So the whether it's McLeod with our clutches, they've been a great supporter. K&K, Mothers, Safety Clean, the companies that have supported us, that have been with us, for decades. We have great relationships with, and they've been great to us. And we've been giving them great feedback. General Motors, with the motors that we have in our cars. When the short track racing program started back in 2004, we were we started with them from day one. When we bought motors from them when they first started that program. Along the way, we've worked together through some things that we've discovered that we've made them aware of. A lot of things they've changed through the feedback that we've given them. But we've had a very close, great relationship with General Motors and their short track racing program. I'm sad to see some of the people that have left there from the beginning that were there that we've had great long relationships with. The new people that are there, that are working in that program. Again, we've had a great relationship with and great communication with. So
Yeah.
it's been great for all of us and great for all of our sponsors and product sponsors that have given us support along the way, and we've been giving feedback to them, and that they brought customers out to the experience and had a great time, and continue to come back year after year and support us while we support them and their companies.
Awesome.
You were talking about,
Dean, I think you had a question.
Yes.
You mentioned about the experience.
You were talking about, letting customers ride with you. Me and Ken went to Atlanta, rode with Marlboro Racing Experience several years ago, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Around Atlanta, around the racetrack.
Right.
Yep.
The burnouts for the Mustangs.
Yeah.
It's just an experience I would never forget.
Yeah, anytime you can be in a car going around a racetrack, whether it's an oval, whether it's a road course, you're going to have a great time. People just aren't used to being, in that situation where, you're in a car and you're pushing its limits. No matter what type of car it is, no matter what configuration of a racetrack it is, it's a great experience. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to have a great time. If you're, a NASCAR fan and going around one of the country's premier speedways and in a NASCAR Cup car, it's so different. It's something that is unique that you can't get anywhere else, and we're happy to offer it to the fans and to corporate America.
Awesome.
Are you out of the NASCAR Hall of Fame building?
No, we are based out of the Charlotte Motor Speedway is where our corporate headquarters is. We're on the back side of the speedway in the industrial park back there. We have our own building back there that our corporate offices are, and as well as our shop where all the cars are put together and maintained. And we have fleets that are at permanent fleets of cars at 12 tracks around the country. Those cars, get maintained locally. When there's something major that needs to be done, they get sent back to Charlotte. We go through, we swap cars out with them, send them a new one from the corporate fleet, and we do what needs to be done to it back in Charlotte, and then put it back in service again at one of the other locations.
Amazing. We thank you so much for coming on tonight. I know
is it already?
Well, I know your time is precious, and we want to let you get on your way. And I want you to be able to share anything that maybe we didn't cover. But I did want to ask you, who was your driver growing up? If you had a NASCAR driver that you rooted for?
It's being on the business side of racing. I've never really had as I would call a favorite driver. One that I rooted a lot for, though, because he helped pay the bills, was Jeff Gordon. When I moved to Charlotte, I met Jeff. Jeff and I both moved to Charlotte at the same time. Through a mutual friend, we met each other. This is before he was racing in NASCAR. This is when he was an aspiring driver, when he was running open wheel cars, running the midgets. He moved to Charlotte. We met, we moved here within, weeks of each other, met when both of us, right when we both moved here, and became good friends. We ended up buying a house together over by the Speedway. So, when Jeff was in the Busch Series, or at the time, I rooted for him because I needed him to make money to help pay the mortgage. We shared expenses there at the house, so of course, I wanted him to do well, and fortunately, he ended up going on and having a great career for himself, and doing extremely well, and is doing wonderful things over at Hendrick Motorsports right now, with in management position there, and co-chairman with Rick, and one of the
best commercials I've ever seen.
The test drive when he looked like that different guy. Everybody has just loved that.
Oh, I did too.
Cracked everybody up.
And that is Jeff. That is truly, his character, and the way that he just loves to kind of be coy, but yet will surprise you.
That's awesome.
Have you ever met Chase Elliott?
Oh yeah. Chase, Chase, another great driver that is done well, and Kyle Larson. I mean, I've met them all. There really isn't drivers that I haven't met. We support a lot of the drivers through their efforts, through their charities. There's a lot of times we'll get a call from a driver that says, hey, I want to do something, can we use one of your two-seaters? I want, my foundation has an auction. We want to auction off a ride along, where I'll do the ride and they get the ride along, in the car. Those go for a lot of money. We're happy to support the, them, or just drivers that, are looking for a sponsor, and bringing prospects out and putting them in the passenger seat and taking them for rides around the racetrack. I know Michael Walter comes out. Michael's retired now, but Michael comes out, does a lot with us. A lot of our corporate clients that ask if we have a driver or retired driver that they could bring out that could that could speak to them, and they want to do a team building program, and Michael is a great at talking to the clients and talking about teamwork and how NASCAR really is a team effort, and getting really into the details of how it works, and how they can use a lot of the same theories and same ways back in their businesses on how to be successful working together. So it's we work with a lot of the drivers, a lot of the teams, and with their sponsors, and their foundations and fans, and a lot of different ways, other than just the fan experience. It's we touch the sport in all areas.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being on it. Is there anything we didn't cover that you would like to share? People, please go to their website. We're going to be airing the show out. We'll put the links in for the experience. I know we could probably ask questions until it's morning time, but we want to be respectful of your time. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll give you final words here. And I on behalf of all of us here, we just thank you so much. It's just exciting to hear about this, and from the person who generated that idea to see it through, and it gives us a whole nother perspective about what's going on around the racetrack. And I would think just with this, as you're answering whatever you want to cover, as NASCAR does good, that will help your business. So as you're giving your final thoughts here, is there something about that NASCAR is doing right now that just excites you for the future beyond the great product that they have, changes they've made recently? Does any of that impact you or help you, or you see something in that just you're like, wow, okay, this is great? And then any final thoughts that you have, we'll give you that time.
Well, the recent announcement with Steve O'Donnell as the CEO and Ben Kennedy as the COO, that excites me. I think that those are two people that really have a good understanding of the sport. They both have good vision on where they want to take the sport. And I think that, I'm excited about the future of NASCAR, because I think that the two of them, that their vision on where they want to bring the sport is great. They're right on target on the way that they see things, and it's in the execution from getting to that point. I think that we've seen a lot of changes in the sport over the years, and I think that those are two leaders that are going to help get it to the next level and continue to grow the sport. So I'm excited for NASCAR and for the fans and everyone involved, and myself for my business, because I think that under their direction that we're going to see great things happen. I'm really looking forward to San Diego. I think that's going to be an amazing event, as well as, every race that, throughout the season. I think they put a good schedule together. I think they're going to constantly tweak that schedule year after year. And I think that, they look at things with an open mind. It's not the old mentality of, well, this is the way we've been doing it for the last 20, 30, 40 years. So this is the way it's going to be done. They have an open mind. They look at things and do things that are good for the sport, do things that are good for the owners, the fans, the drivers, and what's good to help grow the sport and bring new fans into it. So I'm really excited about, the future and what the future brings for NASCAR.
Awesome. Great. That's great. And I feel good about what's happening. I just want to hear it from you're immersed in it every day. And I do like the changes. We started this show a little over a year ago, this particular part of the show. And, that was something we've been tracking, how many fans are turning out, is the track filled, what changes are being made and things like that. So thank you for that perspective. We appreciate you much. We hope that we can have you back in the future. Best wishes on a continued success with the experience. And who knows, the crew here may show up and run a few laps one day or something. I was just
going to say, I need to get you guys out there and behind the wheel of one of the race cars. And after you do that, that'll give us more to talk about next time that I'm on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, folks. Go visit the NASCAR Racing Experience website. And
you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, you're adrenaline junkies, all of you. This is the place you got to go. Yeah. Forget that rock climbing thing. Go get into NASCAR.
Yes.
We got Mother's Day coming up. We got Father's Day coming up. NASCAR Racing Experience is a great gift to give to someone. Whether you book a reservation or you buy a gift card for them, it's a great gift and something that they'll remember and talk about the rest of their lives.
Go strap 800 horsepower under your butt.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll be seeing you in the future somewhere.
Thank you, Robert.
Great. Thank you. And thanks for having me on.
You are more than welcome. Thank you. And that was amazing. Wow. Man, I have so many things. You get into something like that, and it's so exciting in what they're doing. And you're thinking, wow, I'd love to be so many things, his experiences. There's so many questions about the cars I'm sure we have. And but folks, we'll put the links up. Go visit. If you've done that, tell us stories about it. Tell us about what your experience was. We would. We're going to be ending the show. We'll be right back. We have another guest that'll be coming up around 7:15, 7:20, something like that. a dirt track driver.
Smoke them if you got them, folks.
Yeah. So take your break. We'll be right back. And we thank you for your support of the Dirt Report, the SFP Racing Hour, and all things here at Wolf Nation and Southern Patriots Podcast. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Let's get the music going, and we'll be right back.